Yo, man. What's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Mickal, aka Mr. Snapper Born today. But look, we're back with the Trigger Happy Turn and Murder, Cess, and Neef. This is part 4. Once you guys like, subscribe, share, man. Let's get into this part 4.
He probably got an insurance payout.
Really, Livy got caught in the mix, bro. He got caught in the mix for something that ain't had nothing to do with him. You feel me? Green lighted it. This is Livy chain. Livy got this took off him.
Also, the chain, he got a video, another one?
Gotta be. You know, he be having insurance and shit, so. I got a gang, you feel me? Like, I'm gonna wear it. Like, if you want your shit, bro, it ain't nothing personal against us, you feel me? If you want it, bro, just, you know what I'm saying? Hit my hand, you feel me?
Ironically, this incident would make for the perfect backstory to support Tay's reputation as the bully. And the following month, he would decide to fully capitalize on his budding reputation as a chain-snatching bully in December 2022, posting a picture of himself wearing the snatched chain and claiming to be signed to the streets. This was Tay's first hint that he
And then they could snatch somebody's chain. Say if you want your chain back, I'm saying if you want your chain back, you know what to do.
was planning to make an independent move into the rap game. And a few weeks later, at the start of 2023, Tay Savage decided to make a life-changing decision, leaning into the Chicago drill scene and beginning to make a way for himself as a rapper, as well as starting his own label called Family of Savages. The crew's name would be abbreviated as FOS, and that moniker would also form the title of his debut song and music video. FOS would start out with a dubious disclaimer saying that props were used in this music video, and the music video would open with ominous shots of Tay's Family of Savages waving around prop guns with visible prop bullets inside what must have been prop magazines. In the song, Tay Savage would lean heavily into his street reputation, using an intro from a now deleted Street News TV Chirac Street Legends video about Tay, where he described Tay as the Michael Jordan of the robbing game. Now, that's an appropriate introduction for Tay's music career, as he would later
Call him the Michael Jordan of the robbing gang. That is crazy.
explain in a Dirty Glove Bastard interview. How it was that particular video that made him first realize that he could leverage his reputation in the streets to his advantage in the music industry, just like his friend King Von had done a few years earlier.
You just leveraged your reputation.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. So look, when I was locked up, a dude had did like a little Street News TV thing. It was something like that. Not Street News TV. It was like a Chirac Street Legend thing. That's what it is. So he had did that. So when I see that, first, people telling me in jail, so I'm mad. I'm like, what the damn? But it's so crazy. At the time, I was reading the 50 Cent book, The 50th Law. You feel me? So I'm mad. Like, man, this tweaking, man. You trying to get me? I'm trying to get out. Like, what are you doing? You feel me? But then as I'm reading this book, I'm like, man, how could I try to make that into a positive? You feel me? And in there, he had said, like, man, I ain't gonna lie. When take him on, we probably should rap. So I'm like, man, I'm finna try to flip that, cause I know if you got a street reputation, you can get on the beat and then say anything. It's the guys talented. I'm talking about super talented. They ain't got no motion, cause it's like they ain't got the image. But it's guys that's super garbage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this, like I hate do anything, but it'll be taken off. It's crazy. So that's how I try to turn that negative into a positive.
For sure. And you already had the motivation from bro, Von.
Yeah,
you already
sure.
got out and then did what he did.
Yeah.
So you already knew it was possible.
Yeah.
As the video goes on, Tay would introduce the
RP
world to
Von,
his
man,
gun-toting
RP Von.
Family of Savages. This would appear to be his new crew, the next generation of Welch World who would have Tay's back in the rap game. A crew consisting of members who seemingly hail from the same neighborhood as Welch World between the 40th and 43rd Streets in the low end. People such as Buki the G, Take Some, and Lousy, who are part of a set called Bricky Gang, which consists of youngsters in the Welch World neighborhood. While surrounded by his family of savages, all toting props of course, Tay then begins to rap and introduces the world to his Family of Savages crew and labeling himself as the captain, going on to rap about keeping something deadly in his pocket and his gun firing off so hard it knocked his arm out of its socket. I guess props got a kickback too. He also would claim that he stayed solid and served his 10 years in jail, all without snitching, earning him official G status on his block, as well as saying that he runs the low end and using his nickname The Bully to refer to himself. This was a bold entry into the rap game, and with Tay Savage's reputation actually backing up his lyrics, as a result, he would soon become a buzzing prospect in the Chicago drill scene. But interestingly, for the next few months, Tay wouldn't release more music, instead going on a gangbanging press run and appearing in interviews explaining his life story in the streets to numerous YouTube channels, including a legendary sit-down with DJ UTV in February 2023 that was many people's first introduction to Tay Savage the Bully, with many already picking up on the similarities and mannerisms between
Like
Tay
Von,
and King
yeah.
Von. The following month, Tay would make an appearance on the song Send a Message with Buki the G, with Chicago legend
It's
Lil
crazy.
Reed
Tay Savage reminds people of Von, but he sound like Reese though.
appearing in the music video alongside Tay, representing a major cosign. A few months later in May, despite not having released any new music yet, Tay would end up going viral for his reaction to someone else's music. As Tay's interview with 16 Shot'em begins to be released, in one clip, Tay would be confronted about the daughter of Cess, the woman he was accused of murdering, Blazing Doll, with 16 asking Tay why he posted Blazing Doll's music, with Tay dropping the heartless comment saying, "It was the least I could do."
One of the murders you had beat with the Cess, her daughter, a rapper, and you had reposted her music. Was there like a reason behind that?
Yeah, I just want to support her. I feel like that's the least I could do.
Tay would reference the situation with a dark tone once again in his Say Cheese interview, claiming that he shared her music because he saw she didn't have many followers.
She ain't really have no followers, so I'm like, I'ma share it. You feel me? Whatever publicity is good publicity, whatever. You know? So I really was sharing that counts my heart.
At that point, he's really just trolling. He's really just trolling at that point.
But you know.
Say Cheese would even ask if Tay would ever sit down with Blazing Doll, with Tay saying there was nothing to talk about and that he's not surprised she doesn't like him.
You ever plan to sit down with her?
No, I ain't really nothing to talk about.
I mean, she feels some type of way about everything.
He's supposed to.
Blazing would later respond to the rumors of Tay killing her mother in a No Jumper interview, where she claimed that most of the YouTube documentaries about her mother don't tell the full story.
I'm sure you're aware of the reputation that your mom has because there's like multiple YouTube documentaries basically telling her story and everything.
But it's like
that.
they not telling it right.
What are they telling
That's
wrong?
not it.
And inferring that Tay Savage has come up off the back of embellishing the story of what happened to Cess, essentially saying he didn't actually do it.
Well, I might as well just say the name since it's like he getting cloud me.
Uh-huh.
I feel like Tay, he really like
Tay Savage.
pushing the He never did it. That's why I keep saying allegedly. You allegedly did it, you never did it.
Arguably, Blazing Doll was right. Tay Savage had certainly come up off the back of the rumors of being involved in Cess's murder, and disturbingly, it was working like a charm. A few months after dropping his debut track FOS, Tay would follow that up.
You saying getting clout, you just saying his name, people are gonna go to him. They're gonna be, come on now.
With his booming new track, Gang Party, once again appearing in his video surrounded by mean-looking shooters. This came with a menacing hook where Tay would shout out his new crew, Family of Savages, and claim to be with the Steppers who kill their main ops and catch bodies. With Tay's repeated referring to catching that main body, perhaps hinting towards the 2008 murder of Kamain Fears or the 2010 murder of Jermaine Streeter, aka Maintain, which allegedly preceded the murder of Welch. Gang Party also had other references to details of Tay's murder cases, with him rapping that if you get too close he'll shoot, and that he wears a COVID mask when he shoots so that they don't know it's him, adding the ad-lib, "no face, no case." Even going further in the second verse, rapping "pull right here and stop, I'm out on V," a reference to Vincennes Avenue where Neef's murder took place, followed by a lyric seemingly taking responsibility for the murder, with Tay and his whole FOS crew rapping "Mr. Walk'em Down, shout out to Neef." This was a bold lyric, and one of the first instances of Tay boasting directly about the murders in his music. This bold approach, rapping openly about his murder cases, had a lot of people in the comments comparing him to King Von, and there would be endless other comments of people saying that Tay is going to be the next big rapper to come out of Chicago. Ironically, it wasn't just the comments pumping up Tay's image as the latest big rapping savage to come out of the Chicago drill scene, because at the end of May, fellow Chicago rapper turned comedian turned serial entrepreneur FYB J-Mane appears in a viral interview clip on Say Cheese TV, where he hilariously tells the story of Tay Savage shooting at him in Chicago, frequently referring to Tay by the nickname from the famous Hollywood shooter John Wick.
He got this name, Tay Savage. Is this man even a savage? Nah, I ain't gonna front my move. Only reason I say he is savage is cause of what I seen with my own eyes. It hit different. Y'all call him Tay Sav, bro. I call him John Wick.
Tay would actually react to the interview in a later Say Cheese interview, brushing off the comments as lies and calling FYB J-Mane a comedian, but then admitting he did shoot at J-Mane just like John Wick.
We got John Wick. I mean, my bad. We got Tay Savage in the building, man.
You told John Wick.
He called you John Wick, and he even told stories about several nights in different situations. How credible was the FYB J-Mane interview in when it came to your name?
Listen, J-Mane is a comedian. You can't believe nothing he say. Nothing.
There was, I mean, you was really John Wick that night? Was that?
Oh yeah, I got all over his ass. Yeah, I got all over his ass. He know what happened. Man, we hit his ass with the whoop. We hit his ass with the whoop, that was it.
Tay and J-Mane would even end up talking about this incident in a face-to-face interview, with J-Mane.
See this right here? How come we can't do this? You talk it out. You can literally talk it out. Look, this is what they did. Talk it out. Come on now. It doesn't have to be people dying out and just talk it out. Come on now.
Even confronting Tay in person about killing Cess after Tay said that he would beat the case of shooting J-Mane because J-Mane couldn't identify him.
Did you see me shoot at you?
I seen somebody and I couldn't visualize their face, but I know it's you, Tay. I know it's you.
See, I would have beat that. I would have beat that.
See, I'm starting to believe you shot that girl mama, bro.
Man, stop doing that, bro. Now stop. Come on, stop.
And Tay would even take to Instagram.
Hey, he probably did do it, to be honest. He probably did.
Atting J-Mane and reaffirming that a jury of 12 had found him not guilty of killing Cess. Now at this point, Tay was quickly becoming the hottest topic in the Chicago drill scene, and he would follow up his viral interview appearances with solid musical output. In June 2023, he drops the track FaceTime, which came with a beat that's reminiscent of some New York and UK drill beats with its own Chicago flavour, and it's probably my favourite Tay Savage song. The music video for FaceTime opens with slow motion shots of goons waving guns around, and at this point any suggestion that they're even props has gone right out the window. In the track, Tay would rap gritty bars, painting a picture of his lifestyle as a Welch World hitter, rapping outright that he stands his ground and kills people. He would rap about shooting women too if they get into his business, and proudly declaring that his crew run the low end, before launching into a closing hook where he says that he will shoot his ops in the face and end their FaceTime calls early. Once again, fans were captivated by Tay's drill raps that seemingly echoed the real-life situations that he had been in. However, behind the scenes, Tay was beginning to receive some backlash. In the days surrounding the release of his new single FaceTime, Tay would be subjected to allegations that he was a snitch, after his earlier case files began to circulate on Reddit and wider social media, suggesting that Tay had snitched when he was caught with that gun as a 16-year-old due to the police report.
How do people get these? How do people get this though? I don't understand. How do they even get this? How?
Suggesting that he had told the cops that the driver of the vehicle gave him the gun when he realized they were being followed by police. However, some people would argue that this paperwork itself is false. However, Tay would seemingly admit that the paperwork itself was real in an IG Live with FYB J-Mane, but he suggested that this was a police report, not an actual written statement from Tay himself.
Before we get into that, can you how much of this situation can you speak on? Because I be knowing in certain situations that you can't speak on.
No, so what I'm saying is that's a real case. You feel me? That's the first time I went to the joint as an adult and shit. That was my first real adult case or whatever. But so look, this is what I want you to do. I want you to read the police report. You got the police report over there, right?
Okay, I got the hoops.
Before you even read that, all right, listen, let me explain this to you. It's a difference between a police report and a statement. A police report is the police side of the story. You gotta always remember that. A police report is the police's report, is the name. Okay. A statement is when you have how they got him a camera. Yeah, man, who out the band, who out the band, or when you got a signed statement, got the name. It's like a EB type.
Regardless, clearly the wider Chicago rap scene didn't consider Tay as a snitch, and he would still be seen as a rising star worth associating with. As in the following month of June, Tay would officially collaborate with a veteran of the Chicago drill scene, Lil Reese, for their track We Run This. The booming track was typical Chicago drill, and despite Tay Savage counting many of the legendary figures in Chicago drill as his friends, an official track with a big name like Lil Reese put him on the path to being taken seriously as a rapper by the Chicago streets, as well as proving that the snitching allegations didn't really stick. And the pair would follow up that track with a sequel the following month, with the Trust None remix dropping on July 28th, 2023, which once again saw Lil Reese and Tay Savage rapping back to back over a textbook Chicago drill piano loop beat. And it wasn't just Lil Reese that Tay Savage was collaborating with. Also in June, Tay drops a collab with Buki the G called Glocks 2. And then, in a very unexpected collab, in July, Tay Savage does a wholesome interview with British YouTuber Khadijah after a chance encounter being there when she came all the way from England to interview Lil Reese.
Why the hell is you going to different people's hoods interviewing people in Chicago?
Because you lot, I rate you lot, I respect you lot.
She would actually accompany Tay to the studio, even at one point putting on the stolen chain.
Let's be honest. Do we think he hit that? He probably did. Come on, he probably did.
The interview focused much more on the positive side of Tay Savage's life, specifically seeing him engaging with his Muslim faith.
I'm with Tay and the guys, and it's super duper cute.
We made Salat.
And how are you feeling?
Feeling good, feeling blessed.
Feel refreshed?
Yeah, this will keep me humble and keep me on the straight path, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
However, despite Tay's new wholesome and God-fearing outlook on life, there would still be struggles in the dangerous streets that made him. Even though he would be spending more and more time out of state as his star rose, back in Chicago, the war on the streets would continue, with devastating results for some of the young men still unlucky enough to be living on the front lines.
But yeah, I got look like this might be the last part of the stuff. We're gonna finish this video out. Y'all sit back, relax. It's the war with 757 continues. Let's get it.
Despite being out of state in Atlanta, Tay was taking his safety seriously, showing off an FN-P90 machine gun that he had in the back of his car on an IG Live. 2023 would be an incredibly dangerous summer in Chicago, and numerous people would lose their lives in the month of June. Lil Ro from 757 had been seen on Instagram Live dissing his ops and saying he did a lot of stuff to them.
I did a lot of...
He was seemingly depressed at this time, with one of his last posts suggesting that he was turning to drugs to cope with the pain of life. Days later, on the 10th of June 2023, Lil Ro would actually be out of Chicago in North Hollywood, Los Angeles, where he was gunned down in a drive-by at 1:30 a.m. in an alleyway on 10923 Magnolia Boulevard near Vineland Avenue, being pronounced dead at the scene with no suspects being found. He was later identified by the coroner as 20-year-old Deshaun Berry, known to his friends as Lil Ro.
20 years old. He was only, bro, he's only 20. Damn, he wasn't even in Chicago. He was in Hollywood, bro. What happened? Like, did they follow him or something, or just the LA stuff?
Blasian Doll would post on her story saying she was heartbroken over the news and claiming to have been friends with Lil Ro since the Sandbox, while enemies of 757 would seemingly post mocking Ro and saying he got put to bed, while others compared his murder in the alleyway from a drive-by shooting to the murder of Ricky from the movie Boys in the Hood. Since recording this video, in a shocking turn of events, a young man affiliated with Welch World by the name of Taurine Bartlett, better known as Trench Baby, was arrested and charged with the murder of Lil Ro. Trench Baby is in fact the brother of infamous Chicago rapper Polo G, and these murder charges come just a couple of months after an August 2022 raid on Polo G's LA mansion, which saw Polo and Trench Baby being led away from the property in handcuffs, an apparent result of the police investigating Trench Baby for an armed robbery. But anyway, back
to they live in LA, so I'm guessing that was some old beef that they had or something.
To the original murder of Lil Ro, because within a few weeks of that killing, retaliation would strike, and 2 Welch World affiliates would end up losing their lives in the same month. On June the 23rd, a Welch World affiliate by the name of Turbo would seemingly lose his life, tragically only months after his father passed away. Real name, Derek Dillon, the 19-year-old was shot and killed.
19, bro, 19, and the person that was charged with his murder was 16. This is crazy, bro. You're not even seeing their 21st birthday, their 25th birthday, like, damn.
In the 400 block of South Weber in Romeoville, Illinois, a suburban village 26 miles southwest of Chicago. The murder was
suburban. It's suburban. Look at that.
Result of a shooting at the Scene 75 Entertainment Center, where he was confronted by a 16-year-old boy. According to officers, a verbal dispute led to several shots being fired, killing Turbo and injuring another 16-year-old who was with him, with the teenage shooter alleged to be responsible for Turbo's death being arrested and held on a $5 million bond. Turbo was seemingly involved in the streets, having court charges of possessing a firearm with a defaced serial number and reckless conduct, and his involvement in the gang war would seemingly be confirmed by his affiliates posting him on their stories, and members from rival set 757 posting Long Live Ro in the aftermath of the killing of Turbo, with others claiming to have officially gotten get back, and some going as far as to say that Turbo tried to fight and got put in the ground after getting shot with a Glock with a switch. But that wasn't the only tragedy that would be associated with Welch World in the summer of 2023. Only days after the killing of Turbo, Lil Reese and Tay Savage's manager, Huncho from Welch World, gets killed. He had been close friends with heavy hitters in the drill scene like THF Bezu and Tay Capone. Real name Diedrich Baker, Huncho was found with a gunshot to the head in the 4300 block of South Cottage Grove, one of the main blocks of Welch World, on June the 27th. In the days that followed, a 757 member repping Cess World Neef Street, CWNS, appeared to claim responsibility, posting a pendant with Cess and Neef on it and the caption, "This ain't over," and suggesting that there would be 2 funerals for their ops in July. Another post suggested that they run the low end, whilst others would post disrespectful images of Welsh packs, and some known to beef with Welch World made hurtful posts mocking them. However, one of these people, 051 Kiddo from Young Money, who himself was recently released from a lengthy prison sentence, would eventually take the disrespect to a whole other level when on September the 19th he released his song No Peace, which is likely a reference to the pushing peace movement that Tay Savage has recently engaged in with FYB J Mane.
What's the conversation when y'all see J Mane? They hit different, bro.
Pushing peace, not beef.
I fuck with the movement though, like pushing peace. Yeah, I fuck with Tay Savage for pushing peace.
In the song, Kiddo raps about how Huncho got killed because someone, either Huncho or possibly Tay, was talking too much shit. He then ups the disrespect by bringing Huncho's mother into the mix, before ending the bars claiming that Huncho was moving too loosely in the city, seemingly implying that Young Money might have had something to do with his death. However, despite the bravado coming from Welch World's ops, there was seemingly retaliation for Huncho's death only days later, as news outlets would soon begin to report the death of a 757 affiliate by the name of Ivo. According to Rum Report, he was shot in a drive-by.
That's crazy, bro. They get back crazy. They get back like it's nothing. Like damn.
While standing outside of a house with a woman, with 757 members seemingly mourning the loss of their friend, but unfortunately, the bodies would not stop dropping. Only about a week after the death of Ivo, on July the 8th, 757 would lose another one, when one of their OG members, Kenny Mack from the Av, who had been heavy in the streets all the way back to when Neef was still active, and had actually made a song dedicated to Neef and Cess all the way back in 2012, was gunned down near Chinatown. The summer of 2023...
Damn, he was still in Chicago? He was on the streets when Cess and Neef was in the streets. He was still there to this day? Damn.
Had been a bloodbath in the low end, proving that despite the decade plus since the tragic series of events that caused the deaths of Cess, Neef, and Welch, these bitter rivalries had raged on and been passed down to a whole new generation, obsessed with proving that they are just as deadly as the ones that came before them. It's a truly sad cycle of violence that continues to play out to this very day. And I have to stress once again that this gang lifestyle is nothing to glamorize or glorify. After seeing so many people gunned down and losing their lives before their time, it's shocking that anybody would actively decide to involve themselves in gang lifestyle. But the sad truth is, many people simply don't have a choice, and very few are going to be as lucky as Tay Savage when it comes to beating the law and surviving that gang lifestyle. In many ways, Tay Savage was the luckiest person to emerge from the low end, with his life and his freedom still intact, and he would now have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity as a rapper and survivor of the gang war to make a name for himself telling the stories of the dangerous life he used to live, rather than actually continuing to live that life. And luckily for Tay, right at the end of that deadly summer of 2023, he would come out with the biggest announcement of his career, revealing to the world that he had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to change the fortunes of himself and his family forever.
Well, yo, that's the last part. It's the last section of the video. This will be part 4, so we will finish this series here. Let's get to it.
Despite the tragedies playing out in the streets, even in the face of a huge loss, Tay Savage didn't let these events derail his rising music career. On July the 20th, 2023, Tay Savage linked up for his latest collab with female rapper Mellow Bucks, affiliated with the gang No Limit Muskegon Boys, or NLMB. This is the crew famous for rappers like G Herbo and Lil Bibby, as well as internet personality and all-star interviewee No Limit Cairo. There was clearly some kind of connection between Tay Savage's crew and No Limit, as after Tay's manager Huncho passed, No Limit Cairo would post a tribute to him on his story too. So it would make sense that there would be a musical link-up between No Limit's hottest female rapper and Welch World's hottest rapper. But there would be another reason why Tay and Mellow's link-up might have gotten people talking, as Mellow Bucks had been engaged in a beef with none other than Cess's daughter, Blasian Doll, with Blasian dissing Mellow Bucks extensively in a song that she had teased on social media in February 2023, prompting a response from Mellow where she dissed Blasian and mocked the death of her mother.
Damn. Shit was kind of hard, but like, damn, R.I.P., bro, that shit crazy.
Blasian would even take the beef further by eventually releasing Mellow Bucks' diss song and a music video titled Missy Elliott in May. So 2 months after that, naturally, Tay Savage and Mellow Bucks would team up for a song titled Never Leave My Blick, which also spells out their gang's name, NLMB. This was another street anthem and a great collab with a hit up-and-coming female rapper who was also respected in the streets. Interestingly, Tay's verse came with one particularly dark line that's perhaps aimed at the daughter of Cess, Blasian Doll, as Tay raps, "If our victims' kids turn ops, I guess we're killing kids." Perhaps a comment on their dueling interviews speaking on each other, Tay would
talking about the Cess And their daughter told me, I guess we killing that. Nah, that's crazy.
Also end with a disturbing line where he claims that despite the ops killing Welch, his gang have killed more than 6 of their ops, which at this point would be an extremely accurate lyric if you consider the murders of these 6 757 affiliates even before the back-to-back murders that took place in June 2023, possibly before this song was even recorded. So Tay was on a hot streak, and the Chicago drill scene and hip-hop world as a whole was warming up to Tay's bully persona both on and off the mic. And Tay continued scoring big opportunities, with August being a huge month for him. Tay would go on No Jumper for a viral interview, notable for an awkward moment where Tay stares Adam22 down when he tells him that he had Cess's daughter Blasian Doll on the show previously.
We had Blasian Doll. I know you're a big fan of her.
What?
This No Jumper interview was extensive, and to Tay's credit, he spent a lot of his time there speaking on positive things, claiming outright that his music is just entertainment, even urging gang members to slow down the violence.
Rock and roll, you know what I'm saying? I used to listen to, what's that? It's like, let that body hit the floor, let the body hit the floor. I used to like that.
You like that?
I used to like that though, I ain't gonna lie to you, but they probably ain't killing nobody, they just talk about bodies in the floor. I don't know, It's just entertainment, you feel me? But that's what I'm on, that's what I'm on. I'm pushing Islam and trying to slow down the violence and bring money to the city, bring money to us.
But one thing that wasn't stopping or slowing was Tay's work rate in the rap game. He clearly had something to prove, and he was continuing to drop music and collaborate with other artists. His next collab dropped on August 18th, 2023, a song called Folks and Lokes with LA rapper Geechee Gotti, where Tay boldly says that people can't talk about murders if they don't have any bodies, and again, referring himself to Mr. Walk 'em Down, aka He Run, Hawk 'em Down. And as his profile grew off the back of his legend as a rapper, Tay would remain locked in with social media, using his accounts to promote himself in bold and interesting ways. Tay would go live again on August the 24th, showing fans that he kept every piece of paper that he had during his time in prison, including letters from King Von. And in response to the snitching allegations, Tay would read his case papers relating to his murders live, and warning others not to choose the street life.
These statements, this ain't no police report, these real statements, this my discovery. One day I'm gonna go through this. This my Roy. I ain't even pop.
Be Roy.
Pop folks letters out. You from my be Roy. That's why I be pushing that piece, because I know what's gonna happen. You be talking that shit on the internet, playing these games, then you get on their ass, you're gonna have some shit like this on you. These is all for murders. All for murders. Thank God I beat them. They say I stood over her and said, I told you, bitch. But this why I be telling y'all, bro. You gotta stay out the street, bro. We just gonna get out the way, bro. We pushing peace, not beef. Stop the violence.
Things were coming together behind the scenes for Tay, and by the time September rolled around, he was gearing up to make a huge announcement. Tay would come out with a post on Instagram saying that he is the general of Family of Savages and announcing that they signed a deal with Empire Records. This would be followed by an official announcement and posts of gratitude from Tay to the Empire family and thanking Allah for the huge opportunity that he had just received. Now, Empire was also the label that King Von had chosen to align himself when he went on the rap game run of a lifetime, cut short by his unfortunate death. On September the 15th, 2023, Tay would release his first single since aligning with Empire, a track called Bully Flow, leaning into his famous moniker and filming a label budget music video at an LA strip club. That would be followed up by another track on October the 13th, 2023, titled PSA, a booming drill track that saw Tay living the high life in Beverly Hills surrounded by music video models, all while rapping about riding through his city with a car full of killers and keeping pictures of his victims so he can remember who he killed. Ultimately,
What? This nigga Tay Savage, bro. God damn.
this is where the Tay the Savage story ends and the Tay the Rapper story begins. He's now a signed rapper with a huge opportunity to change the fortunes of himself and his whole family. He's being groomed as the next King Von, and there's no denying that there's clearly a fascination with the alleged murders he was involved in. And much like King Von, Tay's willingness to rap and speak about these murders and his life as a gang member in the low end has gravitated many fans towards him, as well as ops and enemies, which are always going to be a threat. Just as recently as September 2023, Blasian Doll rapped on her new song World in My Hand that people are going to die for speaking on her mother. Who knows how serious Tay's enemies are about killing him, but either way, the lyrics provide the fans with a real-life true crime drama to follow along. And it's not just this sick fascination that drill and crime fans have with people who are really doing what they're rapping about, but in many ways, Tay Savage's story represents something much bigger. The story of somebody coming from one of the harshest backgrounds. Someone who was born into the cycle of poverty and violence that places many young men into kill or be killed scenarios. While Tay Savage was found not guilty of 2 of his murder charges, the general consensus online and from Tay's own demeanor in interviews is that he probably had something to do with them. Allegedly. There's been many rappers over the years who have become popular off the back of their rumored involvement in deadly violence. But there's something about Tay's story that's different. It's the quintessential revenge story that makes the fans ask themselves, if they were in Tay's shoes, if their friend Welch got killed trying to get back for you getting shot, would you seek revenge for him? Now, I'm in no means saying the murders of Cess, Neef, or anybody else involved in the low-end gang war are justified. This cycle of violence needs to stop. But it's impossible to hear Tay's story and not put yourself in his shoes and imagine how you might have responded to being in some of the same circumstances he was placed in. Would you have become a savage and taken revenge, or would you have taken a different path? Many people like to fantasize about and think that's what they would have done, but very few people can really call themselves a savage. Most people in Tay's situation might not have beaten their murder cases, and if he didn't get not guilty verdicts, he would have been just another killer serving life in the Chicago prison system. But just like King Von beating his murder cases, for whatever reason, Tay Savage was spared punishment for his alleged involvement in these murders by a jury of his peers. And as a society, we have to accept that result. The courts and a jury gave Tay Savage a second chance at life, and now he's got the opportunity of a lifetime to make it out of the streets and become a rapper with the chance to make a living creating art rather than creating destruction in the streets. It will be interesting to see where Tay takes his career from here. Will his bully persona persist and end up putting him in a precarious position where he could lose everything just like Von? Or will his newfound wisdom and focus from 8+ years in jail combined with his Islamic faith be enough to keep him out of trouble? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, Tay Savage seems to be on the road to greatness, but he can't escape his past. And unfortunately, as he continues to travel up that path to the top, he's got to keep one eye looking over his shoulder at all times. I hope you found that video interesting.
Hey man, this is a good 2.5 hours video. Thank you to Chapler Ross. It was a good documentary, a good video. Tay Savage, keep doing the music, man. Be safe and all that. To my Nappy gang, hit that like button, subscribe, and share, man. If you like this series, man, and the playlist will be on my channel. The playlist. So yeah, this is part 4. We finished the series, so we're done with it, man. See y'all later.